Bristol isn't one of England's largest cities or most populous, but what it lacks in size it makes up for in history. It's stuffed with historic landmarks. You also won't have to look far to find the city's nightlife and street art scene. Keep watching to learn about the best things to do in Bristol, England. King Street. This is one of the most historic streets in Bristol and even England. It was laid out in 1650 and served as a dock for sailing barges coming back from South Wales. King Street is now the heart of Bristol's theatre district. It also has unique bars and restaurants. The Hatchet Inn was built in 1606 and is only one of the pubs from the 17th century that remains on the street. It looks and feels almost exactly as it always did. Avon Valley Railway. When it was founded in 1860, this 3-mile railway connected Bristol to Bath. You can still ride it, and the Victorian train station gives you a sense of what its first passengers experienced. If you'd rather stay outdoors, there's a walking trail next to the tracks. The station is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wookey Hole Caves. This is one of the best things to do in Bristol, even though it's about an hour's drive from the city. The limestone caves were created from an underground river. You can see them on a 35-minute tour or a boat tour through the waters, where you'll also learn about spelunking. The cave's hours vary based on holiday and season, but they're typically 9:40 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Bristol Lido. This unique attraction was built in 1850 and reopened in 2008. It's practically a full-scale resort hidden in a residential street. There's a pool, spa, and sauna. You're spoiled for choice with restaurants here, including tapas at the bar or the viewing gallery restaurant upstairs. Bristol Lido is beautiful but can get expensive. Look for spa packages that include dinner and a drink to save yourself a few pounds. The Lanes. This is one of the best places to enjoy a night out while having a few drinks. Don't miss their signature hard shakes, milkshakes filled with booze. Wash it down with their pizza. The 50s diner-style atmosphere is charming, and so is the live music. If bowling isn't your style, go to one of the nearby karaoke rooms or alternative nightclubs. The Lanes are truly one of the best places to enjoy all that Bristol's nightlife has to offer. Bristol Harbour. This historic harbor was built in the 13th century along the River Avon. It was both the departure point for those sailing to the New World and the arrival point for other Europeans coming in. The main port is further downstream than it was in the 14th century, but the harbor is still full of activity, especially during the Harbor Festival. During the rest of the year, there are art exhibitions, cafes, and more. You can also take a river cruise on a ferry to learn about the nearby history. At-Bristol. This is Bristol's Science Center. It's got hands-on activities and interactive workshops to pull anyone in. You can even feel the thrill of creating by making your own animated short or building a flying object. Go to the souvenir shop to buy a memory instead. You don't have to leave hungry also thanks to the cafe. Bristol Zoo. This zoo was built in 1836 with a mission of conservation and research. It's made several achievements, such as being the first in the world to breed okapis and one of the few in Britain that has aye-ayes and lowland gorillas. The zoo's special twilight zone features artificial nighttime habitats to let you see nocturnal animals in their natural environment. The Zootopia rope course lets you swing along with monkeys and lemurs. You won't want to leave, but you don't have to because you can book a stay at the lodge. You'll get to stay after hours along with a private tour and delicious food. The SS Great Britain. The world's first steam-powered passenger liner took its first voyage in 1845. It was the largest ship in the world for a decade at 322 feet and could carry 360 passengers. It was so large it took 6 years to build, and its owners went bankrupt soon after. It ran aground and was sold for salvage. The SS Great Britain then went on a journey, though not the one it was intended to. It was repaired and used to ferry passengers to Australia from 1852 to 81. It scuttled and sank in the Falkland Islands in 1937. It stayed there for 33 years until it was brought back and became a tourist attraction. Clifton Suspension Bridge. This 1,352-foot bridge sits above the Avon Gorge and River Avon, linking Bristol to the Lee Woods. It's now Bristol's most famous landmark with 10,000 vehicles passing over it every day. You can take a free tour across the bridge. There's also a nearby visitor center where you can learn about its rich history. The Downs. Clifton Down and Durndam Down make up 400 acres of protected parklands on the edge of Bristol. They're a relaxing area to walk or watch locals play sports. Go to the seawall for the best views. If you follow it around, you'll even see bearded goats climbing on the rocky terrain. Millennium Square. Millennium Square is one of the best things to do in Bristol if you came to learn because of all the nearby museums. The large dome is more than a picture opportunity, it houses an observatory. We the Curious is one of the best things to do in Bristol with children. It has 250 interactive exhibits. They include a planetarium, 3D printers, and more. The museum closed for repairs after a recent fire, but the plan is for it to reopen in 2023. The Bristol Aquarium has sharks in a sunken ship, a bay of rays, a learning lab, and more. If you come in the summer, there's also a pop-up roller disco on the harbour for blowing off steam. Gloucester Road. This is the longest strip of independent retailers in Europe and an ideal stop for retail therapy. You'll see the award-winning Spanish Deli Colmado, the indoor plant specialist Wild Leaf, the fashion and homeware stop Fox and Feather, and more. St. Nicholas Market. If you can't get enough shopping, go to this line of shops that dates back to 1743. The surrounding area was destroyed during WW2, but it was spared and is now the largest collection of independent retailers under one roof in Bristol. St. Nicholas Market is full of farmers' stalls, second-hand bookshops, vintage clothes stores, and more. Go to the Exchange for traders and the Glass Arcade for food stalls. Cabot Tower. Cabot Tower is 105 feet high and sits in Brandon Hill Park, Bristol's oldest park. It was built in 1897 to celebrate John Cabot's trip from Bristol to North America 400 years earlier. He was the first to attempt the trip since the Norse Vikings in 1000 BCE. Climb the narrow spiral staircase for an impressive view of the city. Come down to explore Brandon Hill itself. It has a nature reserve with a wildflower meadow, newt and frog pond, and butterfly garden. Blaise Castle. A wealthy family built this building in 1798 to make it look like a castle. The nearby home has been converted into a museum that gives you a look into its interesting history. Start at the house to learn about 17th century life. Go to the picture room for an impressive collection of art from the former inhabitants. There's even an accurate replica Victorian schoolroom. The Roman villa has the only Roman baths in Bristol. Finish up by exploring the rest of the 650-acre estate in the woods to see their beautiful flora and fauna. Bristol Museum. This museum, established in 1823, is one of the best things to do in Bristol because it's one of the largest and has exhibits for everyone. They range from archaeology to art, with tens of thousands of ancient and modern items in the collection. There are also regular events like talks, workshops, and temporary exhibits. Banksy Grafitti. Bristol is the assumed birthplace of the anonymous but now famous graffiti artist Banksy. His work sells for thousands of pounds, but you can find a few of his early pieces in the streets and subways. A guided street tour will help you spot them all. You can also find famous pieces of street art like the Grim Reaper, the Well-Hung Lover, and the Masked Gorilla. Bristol has a street art festival called Upfest. It's one of the largest in Europe and an interesting experience for any fans. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you ever been to Bristol? Do you think you'll ever get there? Let us know in the comments section below.